Welcome back to the road to Grandmaster. Yeah, a lot to cover in this video. I mean, I don't really know whether I should say the result at the beginning or not, but I think I will. I want to show you guys, I mean, up until this point, it's only been victories on the channel, so how people manage to solo queue their way to Grandmaster or above. Fair play, I mean, it's got to be a hard mix of luck and skill, because some of these games, they're unbelievable. I mean, this season even, I think has been the absolute worst I've come across for people leaving matches. It is happening all the time. I mean, I'd say in the last week I've had maybe 4, and I don't have an abundance of time to play. Just quickly, as a bit of a tip, I don't know if you saw me do a little like micro pause just before leaving the spawn room there. I don't know if these people have never been caught by a Doctor Strange, but it happens all the time. You see people pressed up against the door, ready to run. Strange chucks a portal in and team wipes them, so they need to remember that. This game, obviously, I'm playing as White Queen, Emma Frost. I'm very good as her, in fairness. So yeah, we'll see what happens now as the game goes. Already, where are we? 252 remaining, threatening to take the first point. I think her diamond form is brilliant, in fairness. Really like the fact that you can rip people out of their ults and just choke slam them. Favourite one by far to do that to is Spider-Man. A lot of the time, if I'm hanging around by the back line, because I know Spider-Man's in the game coming for them all the time, wait until he starts ulting. Honestly, it's a cool thing when you choke slam them, it sort of stuns them for a sec so they can't even run, so no matter how quick he is and how agile, he can't escape. You choke slam him, hit him twice, kick him into the wall, it gets rid of him, it KOs him, so it's brilliant. Does make me laugh on a side note. Like I said, don't have an abundance of time, so I do these commentaries in the morning before I start work. So it's early, I'm knackered, and it just makes me laugh that, like, obviously there's some big popular YouTube channels out there, and they obviously have like a brilliant setup. They've got expensive mics and, you know, all the streaming equipment, and I probably don't even know half of what they've actually got, whereas me, I'm sat on the couch in my pajamas doing this, talking via a headset that I use for work, which probably isn't fit for purpose for doing this, but hey, that's how it goes. Thought that was cool, choke slamming the dinosaur, but yeah, just want to sort of, I'll do what I did in the last video. I'll talk about, like, in that video I was playing Hulk, a little bit about the MCU. There's less to cover, obviously, with Emma Frost in terms of the films, and then talk about the game. So, in terms of the films, obviously the X-Men films are a lot older than the Avengers and all that type of stuff, all the MCU stuff. Wasn't a huge fan of them because obviously with the Marvel films, they're always looking at ways to tie into the next one. They're all working together. They're all... Oh, sorry, I just had a panic there. I thought, hang on, I'm not even recording. No, they're all working together, they're building one universe, whereas the X-Men films, I mean, Deadpool makes fun of it when he said, Colossus is like, oh, take you to see Professor X, and he's like, McAvoy or Stewart. They literally make no sense. So, yeah, not the biggest fan. I didn't like how they portrayed Emma Frost at all, so... Tell me if I'm wrong. We've got X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that's her in that film. She turns her skin into the diamond. That's pretty cool, but obviously just a couple of seconds where she's defending or deflecting the bullets there for Wolverine. And then she's in, is it First Class, I want to say? Something like that. I think it's First Class. I really don't get it. I know Magneto's powerful. I know he's a big sort of Omega level mutant. However, her diamond skin is supposed to be unbreakable. Not quite on the level of adamantium, I understand, but unbreakable for all intents and purposes, and yet Magneto wraps that piece of metal around her neck and it starts to crack the diamond. Really don't get how that's possible. Don't like it. That is one of her big powers, and I really like how her powers sort of contradict themselves in a nice way. She's one of the most powerful telepaths in the world, and yet when she turns into a diamond form, she's incredibly durable, strong, etc. But it negates all psychic power, so not only can't she use it, but no psychic can attack her mentally. So just think that's really cool, because you don't normally see people's powers that totally contradict themselves. And I didn't plan to say this. There is no script for these videos. I'm sure you can tell I just talk off the cuff, but I guess that's why I'm in a sales job. But no, I can't think of good examples to give you, but you wouldn't think of like Spider-Man having web powers and also having powers that are the exact opposite of webs, or, you know, Human Torch having fire as a power but also having water or something like that. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, I think the psychic and the diamond form is really cool. Back to the game, this was a bit of a mess. I mean, I often think, imagine someone who's never played Marvel Rivals before seeing Marvel Rivals for the first time, and you've got 6-on-6 people, like, you know, you might have 4, 6, 8 people alt in all at the same time. It's crazy sometimes how the game plays. It has been going really well. We were flying through up until this point. I'm the MVP at the moment. I don't know if you can see that screen. I think you can. Going 22-2. A bit gutted, actually, to get those 2 deaths, just because I, you know, got all the way to the 3rd point without any deaths, and we were just rolling, to be honest. But now all of a sudden it's starting to get a little bit stuck, and this is the part I touched on this in another video, yeah, about how hard it is to get MVP or ace or whatever with certain characters if there are other particular characters on your team, and one of those is Devil Dino. I don't know how it is. It obviously he's a huge character, but his block stat, because he's just so big and always getting hit, his block stat is always ridiculous. So you'll see this at the end of this game now. No matter how well I've played, you see it's easier for certain characters to get MVP than others, without a doubt. I was laughing actually in this game at some of the names. So if you look at obviously my team, the only one that I think is remotely funny is Hard Lad, yeah. But then if you look at the other team, there were 2 on there that made me laugh every time. There was, which one is he? Oh, Spooderman, yeah, I thought was funny. But Deadpool Pool, I thought that, I don't know why to ever call yourself that. I don't get it, but every time I'd kill him, obviously just wiped out Deadpool Pool, it would just make me laugh. I thought it was a really funny one. Yeah, so near the end of this first half, it was just so aggravating. The Jeff ult is up there for me as one of the most annoying ults in the game. It's not easy. When I've played against Jeff and he's managed to consume the whole team, I've always thought, God, how can this be any easier? It's the simplest ult, and yet it's the most effective, just take you all off the map. It's not easy. I'm clearly not a very good Jeff player, but on the limited occasions where I've tried to play him, it's tough. You have got to really make sure that you're positioned right, that you've timed it right, etc. So yeah, Jeff players are their own breed. Some of them very good, some of them just crazy, to be honest with you. But full respect to the ones that have put the time in and actually make the ult work every time. Yeah, here we go now. So we're into round 2. One thing I will say, keep your eye this round on Deadpool Pool. He is, from what I remember, a very good Iron Fist. I don't know why he didn't start this game as Iron Fist. I don't remember who he was playing in the last round, to be honest, already. The tiredness is in full swing, but maybe it was Deadpool Pool. I'm not sure who he was, but Iron Fist this round, I feel like he really makes a difference for his team. Might have overhyped it because the only part that I can really recall is toward the end of the game, and you'll see exactly what I mean. I'll explain. I'll commentate that for you. But yeah, maybe I'll do a separate series, tutorial or a guide, for example, on the characters that I'm best at. I wouldn't mind doing a guide for the whole roster, but it's pointless me teaching you how to play characters that I don't really know myself, but I could definitely teach a good Emma Frost. Might also do their best costumes, in my opinion, because this has got to be one of, if not the best costume. This was pretty nice. This was before the nerfs came in, right, for season 8.5, when I was playing this game. I'm a tank main, and I even agreed that Devil Dinosaur needed a survivability nerf. His power set was cool. I'm not saying that really they needed to take away that beam from pulling people out of the air, but his survivability was ridiculous. If you had a triple strat team plus a Devil Dino, it was almost impossible to put him down. They'd keep him up. So yeah, something needed to change with that character. But I have found that Emma Frost counters him very well with that Mind Crush. Obviously a big part of what Devil Dino does, he's got to get close to you. Once he bites you and he applies the bleed, then he can grab you and throw you back into his team. But with that Mind Crush, it puts a good amount of distance between you, and it does a lot of damage. So it is quite a good counter actually to him. Here, I don't know what's been going on lately. Since I've started recording these, I get stuck in maps more often than not, and I never used to. Now all of a sudden, I can't run anywhere, so not the best. Obviously just bigged up how good of a counter I am to Devil Dinosaur as Emma Frost and got annihilated, so not the best display of it. That shield is ridiculously powerful, I think, for him. I think I've engaged again here when I shouldn't have. Lucky that that the team were there. Emma Frost's block is fantastic, but it's obviously only there for projectiles. When you're up against the thing, not ideal. That's a nice, I don't know if everyone knows you can do that. I know it's pretty obvious to me, but if you switch into diamond form just as Jeff is about to ult underneath you, it totally negates that, so that's cool. There's a combo for Emma Frost, and I think it might be in my next comp video with her actually. Combo for Emma Frost, turn it... I'm panicking there, trying to jump over the wall. Yeah, trying to... What am I even on? Turn into the diamond form, choke slam, 2 hits, spin kick into the wall, KOs them, very quickly switch out of diamond form, put your shield up to stop any projectiles. Obviously with the diamond form you're more like Hulk, you're more physically involved in the opponent's team. You're melee attacking instead of distance attacking like this. So yeah, block straight away, cover yourself and your team, let your strats heal you, straight back then, either continuing with primary fire or with Mind Crush, but it's a lovely combination. It's very powerful, does a lot of damage, and really shows the survivability of Emma Frost. One thing I will say for her that I really like about her, I really like her as a character anyway, don't get me wrong, but she is a tank, and when I say that, every character has their niche. 2 characters that I like playing in the tank category, Hulk and Angela, but both of those have massive mobility, whether it be through the incredible leaps or whether it be through flying, which is really cool for a tank. Emma has none of that. Her mobility is dire, but there's a reason for it. Her survivability and the way that she plays is totally different. You can just stand at the front with her, and I'm not saying to do this at all, I'm just saying, when I say I'm not saying to do it at all, I don't mean don't try it once throughout the game. Like as you can see, I'm primarily at the front here. This is where you should be playing her. She's a tank, but a lot of the tanks can't just stand at the front, do the damage and have the survivability to last there, but she really can. So of course, go back, peel, watch out for the team, etc. Do what you've got to do to win that game. But yeah, she can absorb a hell of a lot of damage, as long as obviously you've got good strats too. She can absorb the damage, she can put the blocks up to stop the projectiles, and let's be real, there's a few characters that pop up every game that we know people are playing. Punisher, there's Squirrel Girl, there's quite a lot of Hela, there's Star-Lord, etc. They're all shooting characters to a degree. She can block all of that. She's got the diamond form, which in season 8.5 they made even better. She became even more durable. So she's got so much that can just keep her alive and standing at the front, dishing out damage. But yeah, I wanted more of an opinion than anything. So you can see how well I've played in this game. I'm still the ace of the team. I'm currently going 34 and 6. I've put out 30,000 damage. I've blocked, where are we? 29,000 damage. And I've got 15 final hits. So I've got the most final hits on my team. More than the DPS characters. I'm as close as you can be to carrying, I think, as possible. I'm playing very well, but this is the part I was talking about. So I've just choke slammed and kicked that Iron Fist. He hasn't gone down. Where is he? Here he is now. His voice line makes me laugh. Every time I hear that, I think of two things: Cheaper Town Hall or Chief of Towel. I find it makes me smirk every time, but yeah, look how much I'm hitting this Iron Fist. He's healing, I'm smashing him. Don't get me wrong, I know the other team are healing him, but what more could I possibly have done against that Iron Fist there? And if anything, his health went up while I attacked him, not down. So yeah, just hit a point in this game where it was, again, look, you know, now I know they've got rockets out, but he's just an absolute nuisance at this point. Strats would be calling for peels, obviously, and there's nothing more I can do. I'm here hitting him as much as I can, but yeah, this game really took a turn for something that was going so well to get to a point like this. That showed me something. I learned there that if I'm ulting, Jeff can't eat you, so that's interesting. But yeah, there was just, I don't know, it just went so downhill, but I want you to tell me and explain how you thought I played, number one, if you do agree with me that I played really well, you know, borderline carried the team. And number two, how that could have been done any differently. I mean, obviously I'm trying to do this Road to Grandmaster series, so I want to win as many games as possible. Every defeat is a setback, and it's annoying, and it's taking my time and things like that. And I really don't feel I could have done any more in that game. So, yeah, a tough... Whoa. Yeah, I was going to say that just popped up victory, but I was like, I'm sure we lost that. But yeah, that's just an MVP screen for the opposing team, I'm sure. Yeah. I thought I just said all that and we'd won the game, but 36 and 8. So the most kills in the game. 8, what's that, the least, second least deaths in the game. 3 assists, I got a triple kill, most kills emblem, 34,000 damage, so third highest, and 32.5 block. The only people that had higher stats than me were Devil Dinosaur, and honestly it's because it's easy to get higher than most people with Devil Dinosaur. 56% accuracy, so it was very accurate, and 16 final hits, which was the top in the game. So yeah, really don't know. I played very well. I think that's more than enough for platinum rank. I mean, those types of stats should easily carry you through, I feel, to diamond. Being best on the team speaks for itself. Tough not to win, strange not to get SVP at least. A lot of people comment when they see people posting on like Facebook that they're struggling. A lot of people comment, yeah, but you haven't even been MVP, SVP in your previous games. You need to improve. So when you look at these type of stats and see that I'm still not SVP, it doesn't really always mean that you weren't playing very well, you weren't helping the team, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that was... the first loss that I've shared on the channel in this Road to Grandmaster. crazy one. Obviously, the other team played very well, and that's pretty much it. I'll catch you in the next one.